Can you believe we've arrived at the 42nd lesson of the beginner piano course? You're finished after this song, the entire beginner course. This song, For Elise, is one of the most popular piano songs in the world. Beethoven wrote it in the early 1800s, and it's still extremely popular and well known today.
This is one of the absolute most famous, most sought-after songs in the piano repertoire. For Elise was written for a woman apparently named Elise or Elizabeth or something similar to that. So think that you're playing this as a love song, basically. It starts with a half step. A half step is two notes together, no other note in between. They can be two white notes, in this case a white note and a black note. So it's E, D sharp, E, D sharp, E. Most people know that particular beginning. I use the fingerings 5, 4, and then 2 on B. Okay, let's just work on the right hand since we're already started on the melody. Now you move your hands down to middle C, and you always sit in front of middle C anyway, so your thumb is ready to play C, 2 on E, 4 on A, 5 on B. Now this next 3 notes outlines this is the E major chord, E, G sharp, B. Those are the next 3 notes. You end on C. This next part is similar to the beginning, although you add this E with your thumb. Then you go up to the 5 on the E, just like the beginning. And then you move down to middle C, just like you did on the first line. And then E, C, B, A. Now, this is the first ending. You go where it says 1, obviously first. And then you go up to 5 on E, D sharp. Then you go back to the repeat sign. There is a repeat sign in this case with the dots on the inside. So you go back to the first full measure of the song. So it's E, D sharp. Now you're back to the repeat. Now the count 3 and then the first full measure is 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. And then there's an 8th rest. It almost looks like a 7, so think 7, 8. It's an 8th rest. So it's 1, 2, and 3 and. And then you put the notes in. It's 1, 2, and 3 and 1. And the same rhythm in the next measure. It's 1, 2, and 3 and. So I'm starting on the 3rd full measure on the B. Ready? And B, 2 and 3 and 1. 1, 2 and 3 and. Second line. 1 and 2 and 3 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and now you don't go to the first ending at all. You skip over the first ending and go to the second ending, which starts on an A. That's that first little whole theme there. Now this whole page is the A section of For Elise, but this is a little different part of the A section. Okay, I'm on the second ending, and I'll put my thumb on this B. Remember, this is middle C. We're on this B right here. Thumb, B, C, D. Now you're on this E. Now, this next section has all the same rhythm that we had in the first line. The rhythm of the third line is 1, 2, and 3, and. Same thing for the next measure, 1, 2, and 3, and. And it continues on like that. Now, there are sequences here. A sequence is a pattern like this. That's establishing the sequence. So it's G, F, E, D. Now this is called the interval of a seventh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you come down to the next note, and the next note. Now is a sequence. Now I'm going to move my hands down one white note from G down to F. Now watch this. That's the same pattern. I just started on a different note. That's a sequence. Now, Beethoven was absolutely brilliant, as everyone knows, so he knew how to use sequences. Move your thumb down again. It's the same sequence. So let me show you that sequence again. It even uses the same fingering. Now, this next part is it sounds really cool when it's put all together, but it is admittedly a tiny bit tricky, but let me show you. I have to show you with both hands because it alternates here. The right hand ends on B. The left hand is way down here. Here's middle C. There's that C. There's that C. You're 2 notes above this 2 octaves below C. So it's this E, and then you move your 5th finger up to this E, and then middle E. Let's try that again. 5th finger goes way down here. Your thumb doesn't play the next note. Your 5th finger plays the next note. And then middle E. Then your thumb in your right hand plays that exact same middle E, plays an octave with your 5th finger. These are all E's. Then your left hand plays those exact same notes. I left them written in the treble clef, but they're played with the left hand. Now, then the right hand starts on that exact E with your thumb. Now, you can't see my 5th finger at this point, but this 5th finger is going to play that octave E up there. You can find that. Okay, let's do that whole E segment again. On the third line, 1, 2, 3, 4th measure in. These are all E's. E, move your 5th finger up. 5, 1. Your right hand takes over middle E and plays an octave. The left hand plays that exact same middle E and the exact same E above it. And then it frees up your right hand to play that same E and play your 5th finger up where you can't see my hand. And that will come out sounding brilliant. I mean brilliant if you carry it off right, which of course you will. It can come off like this. Ooh, doesn't that sound much more difficult than it actually is? And then when you finish, you lift your hand gently like that. That's very classical, but it also lends not just to the look of how professional you look, it lends to the way it sounds. It sounds different when you lift your wrist off of the end of a phrase like that. Now, this is what I call a tease. This little section that has D sharp and E over and over 6 times. The way to make it alluring and exciting for the audience to listen to is to give it to them a little bit of piece at a time, like this. Now I'll show you how to do that. I wrote it all in the right hand just for ease of reading, but here's what you can do to even make it more fun for you to play. Your left hand plays the first D sharp E, then the right hand, then the left hand, and the right hand plays the other three. Let me show you that again. Left hand plays 1, right hand plays 2, left hand plays 3, and the right hand plays the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th time. And then you're back to the next little section that's just like the beginning. Here's your A. This, you already know this part. Now we're on the last line. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Oh, not 4. It's 1, 2, E, C, B. Now, you were on the first ending. You already know what that is now. Then you put your thumb on the B, just like you did before. Now where do you go? Do you go back to that repeat on the first line? No. You go back to the repeat on the third line. E. And I've already taught you this portion. All right, go to the last line, the very last line. It's E, D sharp, E. 2, and 3, and 1, 2, E, C, B. Now what do? Of course, you go to the second ending. You can use 1 and 3 fingerings, or you can go E, C, B. You can just go ahead and use your 1 and 5, whatever you're comfortable with. Now that says second X, second time, rit, E, dim. Let's unpack that. Rit is retard. That means to slow something down. If you retard the growth of something, it slows it down. A retard is gradually slower. E means end. Naturally, these terms are written in Italian, like most musical terms are. And so it says rit, E, dim. We learned in a previous lesson that dim is short for diminuendo, or gradually softer. So the second time you play this, you're going to get softer and slower. That's what that means. Now you're going to end on pianissimo. That's very soft. Pianissimo, very soft. That's the right hand. The left hand, let's look at the chords. The first time your left hand plays is the second measure. It's A, E, A. It's outlining. It doesn't have a C natural in it because the right hand does, but it's outlining the A minor chord. A, C, E. Now, what we do with chords to make them interesting is spread them out a little bit. So we put the A here. We didn't. Beethoven did. Put the E here, and then he plays A, the right hand. My point is that Beethoven is outlining the A minor chord there. The left hand plays A, E, A. You should be able to read those notes extremely well by now. Remember, all cars eat gas. So that's A, E. And that top A is G, B, D, F, A. That's this A right below middle C. Now, for the next measure, it's outlining the E major chord, E, G sharp, B. Now, we spread these out, of course. The right hand is playing the B, so that's where that is. The left hand plays an octave E, E, G sharp. That's outlining the E chord. Let's talk about this note that goes below the staff. I gave you a piece of paper, a PDF, that says, great earthen caves are far down below. The great starts on the bottom line of the treble clef. That is a G. You know that already. Great earthen. Earthen, of course, starts with E. It's this E right there. you can use that saying from now till the rest of your playing time, the rest of your life. That is a very, very good saying that you will probably have to use many times. It's only for the lines. Then you just need to figure out the space in between whatever that line is. So that is an E, great earthen, E. All right? E, cross your second finger over to play that G sharp. And then the next line, measure, is the A minor outline again. The second line is the same thing. You're outlining the A minor chord, and you're outlining the E chord, E major chord, and the A minor chord. That's the only two chords that your left hand is really playing around. A minor and E. And the rhythm is 1 and 2, 3. 1 and 2, 3. Let's move down to the third line. Now we have a different chord. There's a C, a G, this. That's outlining the C chord. So the left hand is C, G, C in that same rhythm, 1 and 2, 3, or clapped 1 and 2, 3. That's outlining the C chord right there. The next measure, second measure of the third line, outlines the G chord. And the right hand is playing the D. This is the G chord right here, G, B, D. I love to talk about the theory of a song and the harmonics of a song. It not only helps you read music better, it helps you play by ear better when you really understand the theory. So again, the first measure of the third line is outlining a C chord. The right hand plays the third of the chord. And the second measure outlines that G. And then we're in the third measure. There we go again with the A minor chord. And then we're into all these E's that we've already learned. So, your left hand's already learned whether you know it or not. When we simplify it this way, it expedites the learning and it helps you play with more feeling because you're not thinking so hard. What is that? That's an A and an E and an A. Well, you know that it's part of the A minor chord and you can just let it roll off. And you remember we're playing a love song here. The very last measure of the song in the left hand is, we've already learned A, E, and A. This time, you play them as a block chord instead of an arpeggio or a broken chord. So the very last measure with the left hand and the right hand outlines an A minor chord. What a haunting melody and chords. So together, from the beginning, practice it hand separately, but here it is from the beginning. All right, 5 on not middle C, but this E above middle C. Okay, so it's 5 on E, D sharp. Now we're going to eventually put in some dynamics. When you come back and practice this and you know it well, crescendo and diminuendo. That's not in the original music that I saw, but that's how I feel it. You don't want to, you want to play around with this to make it schmaltzy and romantic. It's a love song. So instead of going like this, go like this. Start mezzo piano, a little less than, just a little soft. Notice I didn't play every single note exactly the same. I played around a little bit. It's a little rubato again. Rubato is rob the time. Oops, no pedal yet. Okay. Here we go again. Start on the third count. 1, 2, 3, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 1, 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and Okay, now take this part and go back to the beginning and practice that. Let's skip over to the second ending with your thumb on B. It starts 1, 2, and 3, and. Third line. This is the C chord. This begins the sequence with your right hand. G, F, E. Now this is the G chord. Now move your thumb down to F. Remember, this is a sequence. A minor chord in your left hand. Move your thumb down again. It's the third part of the sequence. Here's this really fun part with all the E's. Put your right foot on the right pedal and just hold it down for this E's part. Okay. Fifth finger up to this E. Right hand. Left hand right where you were. Thumb on your right hand and play way up there on that E. This starts with the left hand. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A minor chord, E chord, A minor chord. This is the first ending. Thumb on B. Now go back to the third line and practice that. And then the last time, of course, you take the second ending and end on the A minor chord. Here's the entire song. 1, 2, 3, and. Pedal. Change your pedal. No pedal. Pedal. Change your pedal. Okay, stop there. We're adding pedal, and some of these parts can't have pedal because hear how blended together that is? No pedal in the beginning. Soon as you play these two A's, put your pedal down. Okay, hold your pedal down. Play these notes, change. See how it's done? Don't change before you get to these notes or too much after, otherwise the pedal won't be clean. Okay, so that's the pedal on that section. Let's jump down to the second ending, second line. Put your thumb on B, C, D. No pedal. Third line gets the pedal. Pedal. Change your pedal. Change your pedal. Pedal. Now hold your pedal down. This is the left hand here. No pedal. 3, 4, 5, 6. Pedal. You change your pedal each time the chord changes. No pedal. 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 Now let's go to the second ending so we can... boy, that is just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. I have got to tell you how extremely proud I am of you. I love what I do. I'm sorry, I'm getting choked up. I am so proud of you for hanging in there to the end of this course. This is the end of the beginner course. Aren't you? I'm so proud. I know that once you get this, you're going to play this with confidence, with feeling, with your whole heart and soul. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to set it up somehow so that I can hear you play this. And I am thrilled that you can play this highly desired song. All right, I'll see you in the intermediate course.
Together, you and me, make perfect harmony. I hear